Hey everybody, this is Mia with Project Nerd. We are the official partners with the Colorado Film Festival Productions. I'm here with Jacob Germain and Andrew Koltuniuk, and we are discussing Lyons Ransom. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having
Hi,
us.
hi. Is this the first film you guys have worked on together?
It's the first film we've worked together as like a director and a producer, but we've been on countless other projects, just like in other roles together. So we have a lot of chemistry.
Okay, that's great. It's nice to know that sometimes we'll get people onto, I'm shaking my desk. Sometimes we'll get people onto the interview process, and this is their like first time working together. I enjoy interviewing people who've actually had like some past work and real chemistry. So this is very exciting. Tell us about Lyons Ransom.
Well, it was our senior thesis project for the school that we both attended. And the process was a 9-month long process of pitching the film and getting it greenlit and then production and post-production. But we kind of came up with the idea a year before we even started, and we were on a camping trip together, and I pitched him the idea of a guy who is conning an old lady out of her money and by pretending to be her son, and he loved the idea and we went from there.
From this video that I saw on your Facebook page, this was like on a drive to a different set location. Am I understanding that right?
That's correct. I came up with the idea with my co-writer, and then I pitched it to Jake a couple weeks later.
Jake, what got you excited about his pitch?
Well, I kind of started with the goofy conversation beforehand. We kind of thought, like, could you imagine if Tyrese Gibson and Jeff Goldblum were in a movie together? Just because the personalities are so out there. And then he's like, "Oh, like, I have this idea that might work." And then he pitched me the idea, and I just kind of fell in love with it. I think heist movies are super fun. So yeah, it was a great pitch.
So heist movie, that explains the cars in the poster, yes?
Correct.
Okay. Did the cars belong to any of you? Was that just like something you put in the poster, like you Photoshop that in there? Or did you guys actually have like cars for the shots?
So I own the blue Mustang. That's my car. And then
of course,
our lead, not our lead actor, but the actor who's leaning on the white Mustang, he arrived in the white Mustang. And we had Greg, that's correct. We had actually planned on not having a car for him, and then he drove up in it. And I turned to Jake and I said, wouldn't it be funny if Greg let us use the car in the film? And Greg loved the idea, so we popped it in, and it's actually in the film as well. So
that's absolutely perfect. Okay, so that just makes it even better. The stuff that you don't plan just adds that extra spice and flavor. Why this story though? What was about it as you were already thinking that you were like, this is something that I need to make?
For me, it was, and this wasn't something that I realized until after we had gone through several drafts.
Okay.
But it was the heart of the story about a mother and a son who have like a good connection with one another, and showing that you can have that familial bond even if you aren't really related by blood. And it was wanting to see more mother and son connections on screen and wanting to put that out there, because I have a very close connection with my mother, and I wanted to see more boys who had great mothers on screen.
Yes. Not the monster-in-law types that you see so often in films. What was the greatest learning curve for both of you when it came to making this film, or just making films in general?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for us was navigating through COVID, because we had a lot of pre-production done around March, right when it all started happening. So I think for us, there was nothing like this had happened in history before. So there was really nothing for us to go back and look at and to study to see, okay, how did these past filmmakers do it? Because, we're kind of living in that situation. So I think being able to navigate that, how we're going to get our locations, actors, are they going to want to be around anybody? And then also, just trying to motivate the team, because there was kind of a good amount of time, about a month, where we had no idea if we were even going to do this still. So I think just all of that was really a good learning lesson for both of us.
That's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I would have to agree with Jake. I think that there was a portion of time where the school was talking about if we would even be able to film them at all. And most of us were partway through fundraising or fully through fundraising. And a lot of us were trying to figure out, like, do we just plan the project happening sometime in September once we're all graduated and try and do it on our own, or what's going to end up happening? And so our professor, who was our mentor through this process, he was really pushing for all of us to be able to film. And so it was through his help that we were able to make these projects happen.
It's almost like the people don't quit their jobs, they quit their bosses. Like, if you have a good boss, if you have a good teacher, then they motivate you and you just want to move forward. Since that's the case, then what was your favorite part? So not so much the learning curve, not so much the scary parts of COVID, but what was your favorite part about making this film, and specifically together?
Yeah, for me, I was gonna say my favorite was the first day when we shot all the stuff with the cars in the warehouse. I think it was just good to be back on set, and I think I really enjoyed it. And it was the first time as director-producer combo working together, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was my favorite part.
For me, I really enjoy being on set with the actors, and Nick and Monique and Greg were all absolutely phenomenal to work with. So being able to have a great experience on set and fantastic actors to work with was definitely my favorite part. And I didn't have to worry about anything because Jake had everything under control. So I was able to just focus on working with the actors. And when you can do that, it makes life so easy.
Which is the planner and which is the doer?
I'd say I'm kind of more the planner. He's more of the doer. Andrew will say, I want to do this. And I'll be like, okay, like, let me see what I can do. Let's see what our options are. And then I'll say, okay, like, we can do this, this, and this. And then he makes it happen.
Do you guys plan on working on more projects in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
That's exciting. I am very excited to see Zion. But now we're getting into the fun questions. I have a couple. First one is, what's your dream film set? Ooh, I know.
Hey, lately, I've been wanting to kind of do something like very similar to Fast and Furious. So, like, big open set, just kind of cars everywhere. Yeah, that's what's been on my mind lately. Mostly inspired from this last project, kind of wanted to do something at a bigger scale.
For me, I would love to be able to take a crack at one of the Narnia films. Those books,
yes.
Those books are the books that got me into reading and stories as a child, and so I want to make one of those into a movie.
Which would be the one? Would you redo one of the ones that have already been made, or is there one in particular that you're just like, this story, this is the one I want to do?
I would love to do Horse and His Boy. I think that it would work really well as a standalone film. It might even like inspire a studio to, let someone make the rest of the movies. But since you don't have to have like a cast from previous movies or to set up future movies, you can really take that and kind of just play with it and make it its own standalone film.
Absolutely. Do you have dream writers or producers, directors, actors that you want to work with? Like, that would be the epitome of this is my peak here.
I definitely would want to work with Taika Waititi. I think he's a genius. I love everything that he's made, but more of like something along the lines of his indie films, like Hunt for the Wilder People or What We Do in the Shadows. So I'd love to do a film like that with him.
Little comedy, witty pieces with him. That just sounds delicious. I imagine it would be a real treat to work with him. How about you, Andrew?
It would be so cool to work with Roger Deakins as a DP. That would be so exciting. But I don't know if I could tell him no for a shot, He would pull something, and I'd be like, Looks great, whatever you say.
Doesn't matter what it is. The answer is yes.
Exactly.
Okay, my final fun question. If you could pick one song to be the song that you entered anywhere into, like just that once you enter into a room, this is a song that plays, and this is a song that plays for the rest of your life, what would be that song? Ooh. Ooh. You guys are really thinking.
Yeah.
I have some
Probably,
maybe
I would
lo-fi
say,
stuff.
probably Start a Riot from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. How about you, Jake?
I was kind of thinking more of like still keeping it cinematic, so I was thinking "Time" by Hans Zimmer. I think that'd be really fun.
I mean, he's perfection. There's nothing he's made that you're just like, I don't like that. You love everything he makes. So I think that's an incredible choice.
It is.
Did you want to change your answer, Andrew?
Honestly, yeah. You know, if cinematic options are an option, I would probably do The Dark Knight from the movie by the same name.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Both have very epic approaches to how you want to enter your spaces. And I love that. I love that. So where can we find you individually, together, and the movie?
Okay, well, the movie you can find on Instagram and Facebook under Zion's Ransom. You can find me on Instagram, Instagram and YouTube as The Wandering Director.
Yeah, for me, I'm just on Instagram, and it's Jacob JJAECOB.
You're complicated like I am with your name. I try to explain to people, and I'm like, it's this. I see you. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I'm excited for your film, Zion's Ransom, and I can't wait to see more of what you guys put out.
Thank you so much. It was so great to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You're welcome.